Hello, Drago Laura. I'm doing well, and you? I'm actually noticing that besides, I have my face is puffed and my eyes are very small because I woke up like not so long ago, like half an hour earlier. Um, and I noticed that my eyes are so tiny because I have this ring light in here that it's super strong, and I'm thinking like maybe I should try to lower the intensity. I don't know if this works. Maybe like this. Can you notice the difference? Because my eyes are looking crazy. My eyes are looking, but it's because of the light. It's hitting me, and I'm like, and also I have allergies at in the morning, and and today, this is why I fell asleep like deeper, like in a deeper state of sleep, because finally the temperature lowered. Yesterday I believe it was like 95, 94 degrees, so it was a lot. It was very hot. So today I think that it rained in the night. And somehow it lowered the temperature, and it was very windy. um, and now this is why I'm noticing that even everyone around my neighborhood, usually there's a lot of noises of children and cars, and because it's Sunday. But actually I was noticing, like, no one is making a sound, not even the dogs, the dogs and the other animals. So everyone is like making the most of this morning, being like in a very nice temperature. It's not like, oh, it's cold. It's not cold, but comparing to what we had yesterday, it's like a fresh. It's like, I don't know. I think that personally for me, and I notice people saying this as well, for me, when it's really hot, when the weather is, especially here that we have a lot of humidity, it affects my mental health. Like somehow it affects my um ability to be okay. I think that I get very sensitive easily. I get like triggered easily, like, oh, I don't like this, or this is not what I want, or oh, I start like, so um I don't want to be outside. I feel like, um and maybe it's because of my age as well, being 40, 41 now. Maybe there's something about my cycles changing as well, so I do feel like somehow like suffocated. I cannot explain it because it's not like there's something, like I feel like there's something different, but I feel like now more than ever I crave to be left alone. Like I don't have patience. That's why when everyone were like, oh, what are you going to do for your birthday? And I did, I did go to my friend's house, and we had a beautiful day by the pool until it rained. So, it was a nice day. But also, I think that personally for me, I don't see myself running to, arrange like a party, and even it's a week's day, it was on the week. And I'm not big on celebrations. I honestly don't have, like, I don't like it. I'm like, I had it when I was a child. I had like birthday parties, and as an adult, I'm like, I don't think that I need to, do a lot of things to get people to come over. And also January, it's usually people, because here, in my country, everyone is on vacation, the kids are not going to school, so everyone is like still recovering from from Christmas season. The um, there's a lot of spending on Christmas. I think that people are broke. And also there's something about January seeming like it's like the longest month. Like you cannot wait for January to be over so you can get, your next paycheck. Um, so it feels like forever. And I know that people don't have the energy, don't have the money. They would prefer to be elsewhere instead of, being, I'm going to come to see you. It's like a very uncomfortable situation. Also, everyone is on vacation. Like there's not much people in the city. So yeah, I'm using this new location that is downstairs. That is not the one that I prepared. It's not the room that I put a lot of love and a lot of work into the decorating it. It's not decorating. I think that we did paint the walls, and it's a nice place for me to move. I have like a bigger table, I have, but I had to get my chair. I had to get the ring light. And I had to get all my stuff downstairs because apparently in here, since the router, it's like a few inches away from me. Um, I think that the internet works better here, so this is why I'm here. But this place is not for doing the tarot readings. I actually have this tiny, small table in here that is this. And I feel like I'm comfortable. I feel like I don't have enough space to put things. I think that the spread that I'm doing today is not going to be that wide, so I don't need that much space. But is lower in the legs of the table also are like this. It's not like the typical. It doesn't give me room to put my legs in the correct position. This is why you see me so awkwardly being like this. But it's because I cannot fit otherwise. so so yeah, this is what I'm working with today, guys. So be patient with me. I'm also as I'm talking and doing this initial ranting, I'm having breakfast with you. That is that I'm having mate. So yes, probably I'm going to talk a bit more, so I can drink a bit, so I can have a bit of breakfast, so I can wake up. Thank you so much to everyone that is watching. Thank you so much for the likes, guys. It helps me a lot when you guys like give me the likes. Thank you so much. I agree. Everyone I know is having the time in their lives in Europe, and I'm stuck in my country. Mm, yeah. For me, because I feel sick, because of this, very hot temperatures. I usually for vacation I do go on March. I do go on March or late February. Usually those are the times that I take vacation. Also, my hair is looking crazy. I swear that I didn't comb it like this. It's just that my hairdresser, she did cut, the endings, the lens, because it was a bit like it wasn't good. It wasn't looking good. So she did a bit of degradé, I guess it's called. She did a bit of layers in my hair. So I just comb it. I didn't, I just brush it. I didn't use like any, um, blow dryer or, any kind of machine. No, I just, comb it. And and yeah, it looks like, like it's not waves, but it looks like it has different sides. So yes, it's not your imagination. It's not that it's tangled. It's like this, actually. Oh, thank you, Chacharlino. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, the other day we were here for 4 hours, Chacharlino. So I understand. I understand. Now that the internet um, is working, usually as people join, especially people that I know, that it's not that we know, but we know each other. We know each other at a distance. People in the community. I get the chance to talk, to rant. It's so fun when you guys are around. Thank you. But I understand that, of course, that sometimes you can make it, sometimes you cannot, and that's okay. I don't want you to be on a live stream. Like, I just want you to enjoy your weekend, please. This is going to be saved, then you can watch the replay. The weather is good today, so I want to go out for a long walk with my dog after this. Oh, yes, please. Yes, too. Yes, too. That sounds great. Yes. Chachalino, did you what was your recommend? I know you left the other day a lot of names and recommendations, and thank you, because I think that I chosen most of them from the list that you gave me. But is there an artist that you're like, I didn't read for that you like? Probably. I do have the list here, but I wanted to make sure that I'm not leaving someone out. This table is so uncomfortable, guys. It's so tiny that it's so uncomfortable. The way I cannot move myself, and I cannot even lay my back like this. But it is what it is. I guess I will have to get my other table from upstairs. But it's so heavy. It's so heavy. It's so uncomfortable. This position. This is why I'm sitting like this, because the legs are with the shape of an X, so I cannot stretch my legs even. But well, I brought my chair. I'm removing everything again. Like, I'm moving back again. Um, the things that I do, for. But I'm going to get like. But I think that I'm going to get like. I'm going to hire like a specific internet connection for upstairs, so I will not have issues with the connection. Or an expansion, or I will get an expansion of the same net. But the thing is that also upstairs is really hot. Upstairs is really hot, and the AC that I have, that is like a portátil one, that is one that it doesn't go to the wall. It's not the one that has like, the motor, the engine outside. It is like a small device that has everything on it, so you can move it around. But it's so noisy. I know you guys cannot hear it, but I can hear it, and I just cannot read. I cannot be, yeah, it's colder, it's nice when I have it on, but it's so noisy because the engine is like inside that thing. So it's so noisy, and it's just, it messes with my attention. Um, and and I'm glad that you guys cannot hear it, because it's really, this is why I'm like, this microphone, it really, it's not perfect, but it's for the noise cancellation of, outer noises, is really good. For major arcana. Keys of life. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I have a lot of girl groups today. I do have maybe one or two, yeah, two boy groups, but mostly it's girls today. The Japanese group, how is it pronounced? JO1? Also, I was telling Draco Laura, my eyes. If you see my first, because it's the ring light that is hitting my eyes, so I'm like getting my eyes watery. But if you notice, I have like, because I woke up not so long ago, so my eyes are so like tiny, like are so like they're shrunk. JO1, okay. They currently have 2 members in hiatus, so it should be interesting. Um, you know, I started watching season 2 of The Boyfriend. I'm still getting used to the new contestants, the new participants. I don't know. It's not the same. I think that I mean, it's just that, I think I haven't watched that many like Japanese dating shows, so I cannot compare. But watching The Boyfriend in particular, compared to other Korean dating shows, and of course that this is for people of the same sex, so the dynamic maybe is totally different, and this is why I'm learning from it. But I think that there's something about Japanese people, that they have a different body language. They have the usual misunderstandings that you're like, that could be resolved if you just talk to each other. And I think that Korean dating shows is the same, but I think that Korean dating shows, there's something just very, it's more superficial. It's like it's too performative. It's like you're not even choosing the person for their personality or for what they make you feel. It's more like, oh, he's cute, or she's cute, or he's hot and she's hot, or he has a good job. So, I kind of want to know what he does for a living. So once I know that he has a great job, I'm going to pursue him or her. So, for me, I don't know. I think that Singles Inferno are going to also have a new season. Let's see how it goes. But I think that there's something that also, this is portrayal that on K-drama, so it's like glamorized about, maybe Korean dating, or even I think that they are like this in every aspect, like work, friendships, and love. There's this sense of competition, like there's a lot of like jealousy and like, oh, I don't like you because you this, you that, and I'm like checking out what you have that I don't have, and so I'm like, and I think that that's so, like, I'm done with them being like envious all the time. I think that there's something about certain um, Korean, like, you know men and women, or friendships, relationships, where there's a lot of envy, and they're very open about this, because when they talk to each other and they compliment each other, the first thing that they say is like, oh, I envy that you have, or wow, like, I'm so envious right now. It's like, for them, the feeling of envy and competitiveness, it's very like normalized, and I think that is toxic. It's not like, because it's not even that you are appreciating something that is from their character, like, I don't know, like willpower, like patience, like resilience. No, it's more like, oh, the that you're wearing, or the nose that you have, or the eyes that you have, or how tall you are, or how strong you are. So I'm like, that's the topics of conversation are so empty, so empty. I wouldn't see myself like, what would I like about you if we had to talk? If you don't talk, you just say words, um, empty words. So I don't know. Maybe I do like the Japanese dating show more, because they take it slow. They also, pay attention to the other person, and probably they can be also like, a bit jealous or something like this, but they usually don't say it. They just, they, maybe we know it because we have like a sort of like confession from their part, but they don't say it. There's something just very quiet and slow moving in how they display their emotions or their intentions, that is like, it's going to take a while. So you, as a spectator, you have to slow down as well, because it's not going to get dramatic all of a sudden, you know. There's gonna be another. I believe this is gonna be the fifth season. Yes, different, but they never say things straight out and talk about things in circles. Yes, they talk about things in circles, and you're like, oh my, like what, like, yes. I seriously cannot watch these shows. It's so superficial, and they only act to appear a certain way. It never feels real. So toxic. Yes, finally, someone has said it. There's a lot of jealousy in the Korean dating shows and other aspects of life. Yes, in Singles Infernos, the girls always say backhanded things to get the guy they want. Yes, I couldn't even finish Singles Inferno 1. It's like all of them are just trying to snatch someone, or like compare who has the better one. And also, the guys in Singles Inferno, there's certain guy. There's one in particular. I think that it was Wani. Wani was his name. The not baseball. It was the basketball player that he got, he got famous. Actually, well, they all get, a certain fame. I think that him, because he is probably, a very known, a sports person. But I think that he had said a lot of questionable things. The way they would talk about the women that they like, I understand. I think that there's something about him that is like, yeah, you are on a dating show, you're just getting to know these people, and they are young. Well, he wasn't that young. He actually, I think that one was one of the oldest. He was like almost 30, something like this, but he was acting like he was 21. um and he would communicate in a very childish way. like I remember he had a phrase, and it's not just the phrase, like the way he would say things, it's also the body language. He would say, yeah, I like that one, and that one. And that moment, everyone froze, like, okay, like they were drinking, whatever. But, I think that, yeah, he had a lot of these moments. And nevertheless, at the end, he sort of like, he got the girl that he wanted. He got chosen at the end, even if the girl, tried to resist, she did gave him an ultimatum. She somehow, set boundaries, but at the end, she chosen him. So I know that probably they're not dating. They're not dating in real life. It was like, okay, it was the moment, it was the exposure, it was for the show. But I think that he had like a bad attitude, and I think that, those kind of people is the people that it seems like the public, admires the most, like, oh, well, he's different. Oh, well, he has an interesting character. But in that sense, I kind of agree. From the, like, I don't, I'm a woman, but this is my mentality. I think that sometimes girls in that show, they set their eyes on one of the guys, or they go on a date with one of the guys that initially they are attracted to. They go on a date. Well, maybe they go to, you know, they go on a date, and they are all illusionated already. So, there's something like, okay, yeah, you and me, we will keep continuing choosing each other. But I think that considering that it's is it like a 7-day show? I think that you should go on dates with other people. And this is not about, you know, um, you being shady. I think that this is a dating show. So how do you know that you are choosing the right one, if you haven't had even a conversation with someone else? I think that if they get fixated on someone right away, and I personally think that that's a bad strategy. That's a bad strategy. But at the same time, there's something just very odd that it can happen with the girls, or it can happen with the men as well. There were certain male contestants that they were also like, they would go on a date with one girl and they were like, okay, she is the one. And then when she would hesitate and she would sort of like pull away from him, and she would be like, I kind of want to choose someone else. They would really get like, they would really show the girl as, as like there was something wrong with her. Oh, why is she doing this? Oh my God, she broke your heart. Oh my God, she knows you like her, and this is why she what is she doing? She's crazy. And no, she's not crazy. This is a dating show. You have to see your possibilities. You have to see, and also honestly, like, you cannot like get the best version of a person if the environment in where you're supposed to get to know each other better is at the hotel, like a very luxurious hotel with all your needs met. I think that personally for me, I would be like, okay, how is our dynamic in the, how do they call this, in hell, inferno, in the inferno, when they are not going to the hotel dates? Is it inferno, right? Well, when they are in there, that they don't have much food, that they have to do a lot of effort to get water and and all those things. I would I would analyze more like, okay, how am I getting along with him when I'm here, when I'm my lowest, like when things are not that fancy? How does he make me feel? How does he act around me? Does he help? Does he help others? Does he know how to cook? Is he resourceful? Is he helpful? I don't know. I would see it more like this. They are a lot full of themselves. Yes, definitely. They are so full of themselves. I'm like, especially the ones that they are all models, and the ones that they are models, like they don't look like real people. I think that when I see that your nose is not moving, you lost me in there. You lost me in there. There's something about there's something that they do to their faces that I'm like, you don't look like that. A very specific nose job. It's as if, guys, it's as if I would appear out of nowhere. I do have, I love my nose, but, I do have like big, nose. How is it called? Nose trees? This? Oh, well, as if, it's as if I would go, and I would get something to make my, my, these that I have huge, tiny. And I would be like this. Wouldn't you see it like it's like, wow. Yeah. It's just that they're addictive because they're toxic. They are addictive because they're toxic. I actually, until this day, I know that there's people in the community that you guys are fans of Dex, this guy that he came out of reality shows, not just Singles Inferno. He also got from, I believe it was another like survival show, but this was more about, training or something like this. And he got, now he's everywhere. He's in every show. I don't understand the appeal of that man. He also started like that sort of like dating, flirting interview that he had where he invites, idols. And that now I believe that Sana is like, I don't know if it's maybe somebody's doing something similar. It's not the same show, but I feel that there's something about, the concept. He was the one that would be like the MC of that interview show. But I don't, first, because I believe I did watch that season, but I didn't finish it because I got bored, because I wasn't interested in any of the contestants. So I believe that Dex, he joined that season later. Like they usually do. They bring new people. When things are like, they bring new people. And I think that he was one of the latest that joined. And I think that he or some, maybe I'm not. I think that I'm not correct exactly, but whatever. He was in the show, and since I didn't watch his part or his dynamic with the girls, but I seen clips of what people praise him for. That is like there was something about the way he would flirt or act with the girls. I don't know. That I think that people were like, "Oh my God, the way you flirt! Oh my God, the way you." I don't know. I don't know what he did in the show that everyone is so crazy about. But personally, I don't see the appeal in him. I don't find him attractive. I don't think that he has something interesting to say. Like I'm like he's not. He is someone that he probably has like a good and also I remember he was in the panel. He was when I watched the four, was it season 4, the last one. He was in the panel. He was in the commentary. He was with the other people that comment. And he also was acting very petty as well, about describing the other guy's way of flirting or attitude. I don't know why he became like sort of the ambassador of good flirting. I just don't find it interesting. I don't know why that guy has what they call like something, maybe a successful formula. I don't know what did he win something? Did he win? Maybe he won Singles Inferno, being like this. I didn't watch that season. Yeah, he seems like an average. Yes, he gives nothing. I'm like, I understand. Maybe, he's funny like that. I don't see it because I didn't watch it. So I'm like missing something. He also couldn't handle the fact that the girl he was on a date with was doing medicine at Harvard and he felt intimidated. Yes, that thing, that again, we go back to that, to the envy. The envy, you can feel it. Like, it's like, yeah, and it affects the whole dynamic. Instead of them being like, oh, good for you, that you're doing this, I think that it's amazing. They get like, like, it's weird, because at the same time I think that they want to hang out with the rich, not the rich, but successful people. They really crave to hang out, but at the same time you envy them or you hate them, or there's something about them that you're like, oh, I'm going to put you down, or I'm going to make some comments to make you feel less. So I'm like, that's so, it's so unnecessary. It's unnecessary and it's unappealing also. Hello. She's not my type at all, not sexy or anything, just like any random person who got famous for no reason. Yes. I'm looking at him and I'm like, I don't understand what you guys are seeing. I just don't. And even if the guy, I know that he exercises, he probably is really good at combat or something like this, because he did participate in a special forces kind of show, and he probably has a very specific training for that. So maybe it's also that part that people admire. But I'm like, I mean, I guess it kind of, I think that the good thing about him is that he laughs a lot. He laughs a lot, or he smiles a lot. So he has that energy of entertainer, I guess. And I think that honestly, if you see other male contestants of Singles Inferno, in that sense, he has more reactions than all the other contestants. That they look like a model, but they are, just, they are like a rock. They are like, oh my god, like you just don't say anything. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, are you alive? um and sometimes what they say is not that. It's like, where is your fire? Where is your, like, yeah, you're handsome, but where is the personality? So maybe, in that sense, maybe someone like Dex has more appeal, because maybe he has the ability to be funnier, to be better at engaging. So yeah. Here he's bad. He's so sad. Yeah, the other contestants were worse. So he seemed the best, but really he's barely average. Yes. Hey, Danya. Sorry, guys. I'm going to eat a bit of my cake. It's a bit. Yes. Yeah. But well, I think that, maybe I missed something. Maybe someone that is a fan, they can let me know, like, no, this happened. But I missed that moment because I didn't watch that season. I didn't finish that season. I think that I watched the first episode. I didn't like the contestants, so I didn't follow. Mm. But the thing that I do notice is that he has sense of humor. He notices. You notice that he smiles a lot. He is spontaneous. He laughs a lot. But then when he can be petty as well, because I noticed his comments on the panel, and I was like, you are also. He can be condescending also if he wants. Mm. He's a Gemini, right? I think he's a Gemini. No offense to the Gemini people. We love you. We love Gemini people. I do have great Gemini ladies in my community. Actually, I do have a lot of air signs in my community. And the ones that are not air signs, they do have a lot of earth placements. I lack a bit of fire signs in my community. I don't have fire signs. This is why we're always chill in the community. No one fights. No one is scandalous. Yes, I have Gemini Mars. Yes, no spices firecrackers so far. I think that there's something about maybe fires. I think that fire signs are outside. Fire signs are like living their lives. Are like outside, just living their lives to the fullest. I think that they would be like, Vanessa, like a 3 hour live stream. I'm not here for that. So let me know when you do the recap because I'm not sitting here for 3 hours to just hear you rant. I can see the fire signs rushing me into you know can we get to the subject? I remember. I think that I had that with there was a moment that I had that with that it was so funny the way she would try to. I think that you were around, Chachalino. You caught it. I think that and it was Samara. Samara, I was talking about something live, I don't know, and it got longer, the subject. And she said something about like, yeah, how she made a remark, a very funny remark about how we are, getting away from the main subject, and how like, wow, like this is taking forever. Like, when are we going to go back to the readings? Or I don't know. It was just so funny the way she said it. Um, and it was so funny, her remark, but I can understand that because she has Mars in Aries. So like I tell you, there's something about her, probably, even though she can be, intellectual because she's in Aquarius, there's something about communication, that she's like, well, a bit I can kind of listen to what you say, but once you start like ranting, or it's taking a lot of, like, you lost me, you lost me. um so um I think that it was so funny the way she said it, because I was just, and also because I'm an earth sign, so I'm going to take my time to express myself. This is why, and I think that this is so important for us earth signs, because I don't consider myself slow. I know people, earth signs, that are probably like more cautious, slower in communication. But I've always, had people around me with a lot of fire, that I would feel like pressured, like they would be like, okay, so what is it? What is the answer? And they would, and I would feel like, oh, okay, yes, you're right. I have to say this, okay, this, and say my answer right, and I would have to change, my energy to match their anxiety or their need for a fast resolution. And I think that with time and age, and also experience, I noticed that we all have our rhythms. We all have our pace, even air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, sometimes those people, they also have like a slow way of processing information, even if, internally they are the smartest. So sometimes I think that you shouldn't let yourself, get carried away. If someone is trying to, be like, okay, so what is it? So, unless it's something important that it needs to be resolved now and it has to have like a straight answer. But I think that when it comes to expressing myself, I came to appreciate my pace and my nature. And whoever wants to listen, they will be here to listen. And the ones that they are like, this is taking forever, they will be gone. They will not be here for that. Maybe they can come back to resume, but not in the moment, because it gets on their nerves, that I'm not. But the thing that I say is that, my communication also has a purpose. I'm not just ranting because I'm just talking, whatever. No, I have a purpose. I have a role to do here. So, but I understand that there's people that they're like, I'm not interested in your ranting about personal things. I just want you to read for my bias, and that's valid also. But for me, I also have to be true to my, to my warm up, I guess, to my, um, I guess, intro. Everyone has an intro. Yes. Tell me my future now. Okay. But am I going to be rich or not? Sort of energy. Yes. I have two Leos in my family, and it's so dramatic when they fight. Always hilarious. Yes, because there's something about Leo that you can see that maybe for them it's like something so like, oh my God, so important. Um, but then when they drag it so much, when the drama continues, and when they are like, there's always a new drama, and you're like, oh my God, this is getting funny. I just cannot help but feeling that I'm supposed to be laughing at this, not getting worried. Because for me, if you say that there's something wrong, I'm going to get worried and I'm going to try to help you to find an answer. But I think that there are certain people that they are addicted to the adrenaline. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I understand you're having a hard time. All the people chatting here right now probably has placements that make them a conversionalist. Yes. My Sag moon wants things ASAP, but my Libra sun can't resist conversation. Yeah, also, yes. Can relate. My son is in Virgo and my mom is a Libra. I'm pretty slow, but efficient. Yeah, I think that also, I've always been like in my family, I've always been like the mediator, and even at workplaces, I would always be the mediator, and I wouldn't understand like why I would be the one that would bring like harmony, I would say, or would bring people together. I never understood that because I have zero Libra placements. I don't have any Libra placements. I have Pisces, but I don't have Libra. And then, once, I got deeper into my birth chart, and, there's so much to learn about your own birth chart. And I discovered that I do have the MC. I have the MC in Libra, that it's like, in the highest point of the chart. So, and also, is near like the Capricorn, the 10th house, is in the 10th house, next to my, then is the midheaven in Libra, and then, a few inches away, it moves to Scorpio, and then in there, I have my moon in Pluto in Scorpio. So it's all about transformation. It's all about, communication. It's about my personal, like not my personal, my public image is about, transforming people's life. But at the same time, it's not like that scorpionic transformation. It also can be harmonious because I have the MC in Libra. So, with my dominant being Pluto and Moon in Scorpio, I could be, more scorpionic. I could be darker, if you will. But honestly, like, I do prefer pastel colors. I do like, as you always, I don't know if you notice that I try to always wear white. I love white. I love like pretty things, I believe I'm very feminine. So I think that's, the Libra signature is about, and I feel the need to include everyone in my community. I don't like people that are rude or disrespectful. I always try to, to find that balance. I don't want, my space to be all. I know that there's people that they do live streams and they have like a mess, around them, and I'm like, they even have like music on. I've seen tarot readers like on TikTok, especially from my country, that they do have like music, like people coming and going, and I'm like, I could never read cards like this, because it's not about perfection, but I need harmony. I need to feel like, it's not about beauty. It's about balance. It's about balance. I think that it's not about appearance even. It's about an experience for me. And for me, it has to be pleasant. It has to be a pleasant experience. They get into petty fights over who has the best or fastest car. Yes, they talk about cars a lot. Yes. And I'm just laughing my butt off watching, because it absolutely doesn't matter to me. Well, I'm a Libra and I bring the problems without finding peace. It's just that this usually happens to Libra. Libra people always are stressed. They're always stressed. And yeah, their balance is affected by others, because it seems like I seen that the Libra gets always like the conflict. The conflict calls like it's not that you call the conflict. It's like it happens to you or around you. So I think that there's like a sort of like teaching in there, because I seen a lot of Libra people, even in my family, how they polarize, how they transform into Aries. They transform into an Aries version because they they are in survival mode because people won't stop bringing problems, so they have to be they are like trying to evade, like, okay, I don't want to fight, but at the same time you're attacking me, so I have to say something, so I have to, like, you are in the middle, you are going to be in the middle of conflict. But the thing is that somehow is like maybe learning that that dynamic doesn't corrupt you. Just like as I was saying a few moments ago, I was talking about people rushing me. I have people in my life. I had when I was young, especially, that, probably I don't know, they would question my intelligence because I would be thinking a lot before, giving my answer. And then I learned that actually, I'm a very intelligent person. I have another kind of intelligence. Of course, that the way I work with my intelligence is different. And I don't like being pressured. But I think that sometimes you do have these people that they are going to shape you somehow. They will put you, they will try to project on you to see if you will become them or if you will become what they want or how they see you. So you have to go back to you. If you are a Libra, and yes, Libra is all about the others. So somehow what the others are going through is going to affect you. But there has to be also boundaries because life is beautiful, for Libra, they create such beautiful experiences, just like I say, beautiful experiences. They give the greatest advices. They have this, funny vibe about them. They are beautiful in their own different styles. So when you let yourself be corrupted by the anger of others or by the how others want to, in my case, I'm an earth sign, so I also have people, projecting their anxiety on me. Like, I'm usually stable, so they do see it, and they're like, "Why is it taking so long? Why are you taking so long to do this?" And it's like, because this is how I process things. I am an earth sign. So I'm going to take my time. But don't worry, I'm going to get to the resolution. It's just that I'm going to get on my pace. You cannot push me. This is my nature. This is me. This is how I do things. Now, how you do things is different. How you expect others to function is on you. But this is me. And I think that with Libra, there's like a sort of confusion about, like, okay, me and the others, me and the others. Oh, like separate. Like, what is from the others and what is yours? Because yes, we are all at service somehow of the others, so we cannot help because we cannot be alone. So you have to compromise with the others, but at the same time, it's also letting them know that you cannot disrupt my balance. If you come here, if you enter my space, if you enter my life, do it with respect. Because I'm not disrespecting you. So do it with respect. Thank you, Chichalino. Have fun in your walk. I instigate or hype up horror's drama. I'm a Libra stellium, but I think my Gemini placements enjoy it. Yeah, I seen especially Libra moon people. They instigated drama. I seen it because I had close relationships with them, so they would tell me, like, oh, I know this. And then when, of course, me being a Moon Scorpio, I what you tell me, I just don't tell others. I'm like, okay, this is our moment. This is what you said, but I'm not like, sharing and oversharing. But then when something happens that it's about what they told me, I'm like, so you were involved in this. And I start seeing a pattern, like it's always you and the one in the middle. Like if something gets found out, it's probably there's a Libra placement in there. And they just laugh about it. It's not even like, I think I'm emotionally stunned, and since it is caused by things like chronic stress, and yeah, I'm on the spectrum, so I was born stressed. Yeah, I think that I also have like I developed that, also later in life, to feel like now I feel more overwhelmed. There's certain things that stress me. I have certain, like I said, I have a bit of obsessive compulsive, like, okay, like I always tell you guys that no, things has to be like this, it has to be organized, otherwise I don't like it, or I feel like it's not that you guys are like, oh, Vanessa, you should do the live stream like this. No, it's that I put the responsibility of me, that it has to look a certain way and it has to be in a certain manner. So it's about a bit of OCD, a bit of, me trying to control certain things that at the end, yeah, it only brings you stress because you cannot control it. You cannot control it. The world is chaotic. People are chaotic. You only can control yourself. That happened to me with my mom, and it has been some hardly 24 years. It's getting better, but built up resentment is there. I agree. As a fellow Earth sign, it has to be at my pace, which is why I didn't like when people tell me what and how to do things all the time. Yeah, they usually project a lot on us. Yeah, they usually try to rush us. Like, oh, how we come here, and we do this, and I'm like, I learned that no, just I'm okay. Let me, trust me. I will get there on my way. So don't move me. Don't move me, because everything that you do, it has a purpose. I think that if we were all the same, if we would all be running wild and just freaking out for the smallest things, yeah, we would all be clashing with each other. But I think that we earth signs, we have the ability, even the people that have earth placements, we regulate ourselves, and I think that sometimes we get confused and we wonder, like, why am I like this? Why is taking me longer than the others, And I think that it's about appreciating your nature and appreciating that you are not like the others. We're all different. Then we go and ghost. uh, for us, the drama gives us something to talk about. We don't really have it. Yeah, yeah. It's about having something to talk about. And honestly, like, I was enjoying the conversation. It's just that I don't share. So what she would tell me, I think that she would like express it openly because she would know that I wouldn't tell others. But and also I wouldn't be like, oh, why are you doing this? Like, no, I would just laugh, because she is very charming in that sense. But yeah, I could see the chaos like created. When they try to rush me, I just get mad and now think I'm being rude, but I'm just annoying. I will get it done efficiently. Just let me be. Yeah, I remember when I think that I was 4 years old. I think that I was 4. And I got my first bike, my first bike. And of course it had like the tiny wheels, and I was using it with the support wheels, till I was, once my dad removed them, I had to learn, how to use the bike, how to ride the bike properly. And I remember my dad, he would push me, like you get on the bike and he would push me, but I would fall. And I think that I fell once, and I got so upset, so upset. that it took me like, I didn't touch the bike until like 6 years later, because I was so angry. I was like, no, I don't want to learn. And this is, of course, is not good. You usually, for this to be like a good healthy experience, about you learning something, it's about you get up and you go again. But since my dad was so aggressive, like not aggressive because it's not, but he, like the Aries person that he is, he would push me and he wouldn't even like, contemplate like, okay, are you ready? Like, okay, like, no, he was trying to help me, of course, for me to learn, but I didn't like that push, I didn't, because I fell, so I associated with, oh, I don't like this because I get hurt. And I think that he should have handled it, this better, maybe, grabbing me or trying to support me differently and not push me, and I've always been very stubborn. So of course that after I fell, I didn't use that bike. I didn't get on a bike. It took me 6 years. I learned how to ride a bike at 10 years old. At 10 years old. And I learned by myself. I learned by myself because I had like a sort of fence in my house. So I would grab myself, I would grab the bike and grab myself by the fence, and I would, use the pedal. And then I would just go. But yeah, I am like that. Usually when there's an experience that I don't like, or I find it like, oh, this is unpleasant, I don't do it. I'm like, I'm out of here. Fear Fear of falling while learning to ride a bike prevents so many women for trying. Yes, I think that, but I always think that I don't know if this has happened to others, but I always been like this. Like if I have a one bad incident, like in the learning process, then with time I learned that, failure in the first instances, it's okay. I learned, to try again. But I think that I just didn't like, I was not just, I was upset because I fell, but I was obsessed because I felt, I blame my dad. I blame, like, you push me, you push me, because he pushed me from like the behind part of the of the bike, and I just flew. My mom would not let me remove the wheels because she said I was going to get hurt and I was not ready, and I was 7, so that was late compared to other kids. So I grabbed my 5-year-old cousin bike and ride it. You're so sufficient. I love this. I learn things better. I better myself. I found that when someone tried to teach me, I just stopped listening, maybe because it's not at my pace. Yeah, I think that I also, when someone, this is why sometimes when I went to, driving lessons, when I have this person that they're talking to me and they're like, I'm like, yes, yes, yes. But there's something that, there's a moment, yeah, when I stop listening, because yeah, it's odd. I think that when I teach myself, yeah, I do things better. Yes, but I get frustrated easily. That's one thing that I have also. When I was young, I was always taking the girls in my neighborhood on the back seat because they were just scared of getting scars. Oh yeah, I had a neighbor of mine that she as I was learning, she would take me on the back seat. Yes, it was so nice. Yeah, I love. I also, I've always been surrounded by people, especially fire signs or air signs. That they're really quick to learn, and I always admire them. I always admire them. I've always been like, wow, for them it seems easier, But it's just because they take the risk. they just do it. They do it or they repeat it. I remember I was at the workplace. I don't remember exactly where, but we had this new fancy machine. I think that it was like a sort of tablet, but back then there were no like tablets available. It was a long time ago, but it was a sort of like a tablet thing device, and I remember I was like so fearful of like touching the wrong button and or pressing the wrong key. I don't know. And I remember I had it was my coworker. She was a Taurus, but she had Moon in Libra, I believe, and she was like, you choose you just touch all the buttons until you get the one that why you care if you mess up, like you just start over, like you just have to be curious, like you just learn like this. And I was like, and she actually was right, because then I was able to master that the use of that machine, because I found some, tricks, or maybe I found certain things because I was being curious and I was learning, and I was like, I was discovering it myself as I was using it. So I guess that's also a great advice. But I think that also I wouldn't be like the kind of person like, oh, touch all the buttons. Like, I don't know, especially if it was like a company, kind of thing where they would send emails, important emails to each other. I don't know. I wouldn't be like, oh, touching all the buttons. But I kind of understood her way of seeing this. It's like, don't be scared of this device. Just use it. I think as earth signs, the other person has like 5 minutes to talk before we stop listening, because it disrupts our own thoughts and processing. Yes. But swimming and cycling are two activities that once you learn, you'll never forget in your life. Yes. Or things overthink too much. Earth signs literally go with the flow of the wind. Yeah, but Virgo is mercurial. It's ruled by Mercury also, Yashoda. So, they do a great match with you. As long as you provide for them the information, the communication, they will get it. They are out of the earth signs, they are more like, mental. They're more like, in their minds, in their intellect. Actually, I always see Virgos like another kind of earth signs instead of earth signs, because they're not that stable. Actually, they have a lot of, they're very anxious, but they're very intelligent as well. Yeah, I think that is a great advice. Yes. Yes. I think, and also I think that it's great to have someone that has like a different view, because sometimes you do need that person to tell you, like, we are all learning. It's not that big of a deal. We are all learning here. So it's not like oh, it's special. Virgos are like the INFJ of the zodiac. Why are all these upside down? Okay, I'm going to start with the readings, guys, because I do have a lot of people. I'm going to let you know who I have. On my list for today, I have Twice, aespa, I have the group AHOF, I have J Park, I have Itzy, I have A20 May. Is it the name? Is it like this? It's pronounced like this, A20 May. Liesmann's group. I have Riize, I have Heart to Hearts, I have Katseye, and Kiss of Life, and the Japanese group JO1. Okay. Let's see for them. Okay, let's see for twice. Their 2026 major arcana. Can you see it, guys? Can you see it, Ivo? Okay. Okay, for twice, we have the Moon card, the Moon, and then we have the Four of Cups that it says contemplation. So probably for twice, a lot of feelings, you know, a lot of like intuition, them being in their feelings, but also I think that there's this very cautious nature of maybe they are going through, or they're going to be going through a sort of transition, or there's things that are accommodating themselves, but it's very early to be like, oh, you know, this is how things are going to go. So I don't know if it's that the girls are going to embark like in a new journey, or there's certain activities or certain things that they are going to do that is very new, that is very unknown. So I think that even for them, they could feel a bit suspicious about certain decisions, about, you know, okay, what is this that we're doing? Where are we heading with this? I think that there's a lot of observation, a lot of like studying, like I completely don't understand this that we're doing, but you know, it is what it is. So we go with the flow. But with the Moon, there's this feeling of also probably their energies feel more like it's slowing down. You know, the Moon is giving me resting time, but it's not, I don't think that they have the, I don't know, maybe they could rest a bit. But there's something about also like their emotions or their emotional world, like, you know, coming to a state of silence and like, you know, these are sensitive times. I think that I don't know why when I see this card, I'm like, it feels as if the group would be like underwater. You know, like when you are underwater and or when you are in the water, that there's something just very like it's very peaceful, but also it's very like, you know, it's something inside you is moving. But it's quiet. It's quiet. It's introspective. I think that they have to. There's a lot of like contemplation to do. A lot of like observation of these that are being offered to us. This is being offered to us. This is what we're going to do. But I see their energies just being very cautious about things. You know, the Moon is giving me like I cannot see exactly what is going on, but also I'm not like I accept the uncertainty or I accept that there's things that I don't know. But definitely their intuition is going to be very much is going to be deepened. Their intuition is going to be very very sharp. It's just that I think that for them it's like, okay, I have an intuition or I have a perception about this that is going on, but I also don't want to be like, oh my God, this is happening, because they don't have all the answers. There's something about this year being a year that can be a bit like, yeah, you cannot see clearly, like being underwater. When you're like, you cannot see clearly. I don't think that they are confused. I think that these are just very like, probably 2026 is a year of a lot of introspection, a lot of contemplation, them just, staring at the unknown and being like, well, I don't see them like, reacting to it. It's just that there's going to be this like, okay, the four of cups also, contemplation is giving me like, also probably the girls, they are going to observe but not react. It's like, okay, I guess it is like this, like you guys say, but yeah, very, their energy feel like as if they were sleepy, like they are not like, oh my God, like, no, I don't think that there's something like energetically wrong. It's just that maybe there's something about their energy finally being able to slow down. So see, when you finally like are able to rest and you are a bit like in the middle of a dream, you don't know if you're sleeping or if you're awake already. So there's this like, I'm still in a dream. I don't see well. I cannot see well. I only know I have suspicions. I hear voices, but it's all very much ethereal. It's all like a dream, it feels. So probably, yeah, a year where, yeah, special when it comes to energies around them. But I think that the girls will not judge anything that comes their way. I think that they will try to, embrace what is happening, and that's it. To not like, oh my God, like we should do something about this. Like, no, not this year. Not this year. Okay. Let's see for aespa. Okay. Also, them feeling very sensitive. Okay, for aespa, temperance. And we have Queen of Cups, sensitivity. So see, also aespa feels also very similar. Not so much like, okay, like the moon card that twice got, but I think that for aespa, these are also times for healing. I think that they need to heal from something. Probably last year was very chaotic for them. So there's something about their energies in 2026 being like, okay, we are trying to reach a certain balance. We are trying to regain our well-being, our healing, we are trying to get back to us. We are trying to get, to get back to being who they are. I think that every time I read for aespa, I always tell people that actually aespa members are a highly sensitive group. The girls are very sensitive. And when I say sensitive, I don't mean it from like, oh, I'm sensitive to criticism. Like, oh no, please don't criticize me because I'm sensitive. No, I think that is their nature is very sensitive. And it's also that's also their power. That's also their power. I think that sometimes because maybe their concept is like futuristic, and there's this maybe there's lyrics about empowerment, and them being like the bosses, and I think that when I see the Queen of Cups, that is a sensitivity, I think that the girls would be more fitting for a group that would talk more about emotions, or about the mastery of emotions, or about nurturing others, being generous to others, being kind to each other. I think that the girls would be like good a really good group that would deliver that message, and the audience would feel it like real. I don't think that I don't know if they will ever have a concept like this, but I think that the girls are really good at mastering their emotions, and in 2026 it's going to happen, and I think that there's something about maybe the members of aespa also embracing their sensitivity and being like, we are human too. We are sensitive, we have emotions, and the sensitivity is not going away. We are this. We are real people with real feelings. So it's about, being proud of your nature. Just like as I was, mentioning a few moments ago, as we were talking about, earth signs, air signs. We were talking about astrology, and about how each person has like a sort of like, besides your sign, you have certain placements, you have certain like an inclination of like, oh, I have more of this energy than this other energy. So sometimes when you meet people of the opposite energy of yours, sometimes people want to project on you, and they want you to stop being that you are, or stop expressing your real nature. They want you to go along with what they need. And I think that this is something that probably it happens with aespa. People sometimes maybe want to hurt them, or want to be relentless towards them and their energy or their persona, and they don't realize that these girls are very sensitive, and that they but at the same time, I think I don't see them like victims, because with the temperance card, I see healing, and I think that they will focus on getting better themselves, on finding positive things in their life, or maybe helping each other out, get out of this, like, oh my God, I'm sad, or oh my God, like I feel so sensitive that, like no one is helping me. No, I think that they will find a way to channel this sensitivity of theirs, but probably to open up a bit more, and letting people know, or reminding people that they are this. They are the Queen of Cups. The Queen also talks about maturity, about you somehow, maybe, yeah, they have been in the business for a while. So there's something about them being like, okay, I guess this is what we are. This is how we feel. So we should remind people that we are human, and that we also get sensitive, and that we also are fragile, that we take things to heart sometimes, that there's certain vibes or energies towards us that affects us the double. There's something about maybe the girls, some of them could be like real, like empath, like they having the ability to be very empathic. I think that a lot of the members have this ability. It's just that maybe for this business, they are too sensitive for this business. Like it's not like weak. It's not sensitive weak. It's more like sensitive. Like I feel it all. All this that you send me or you send my way energetically, I feel it. I feel it, and it affects me. So they will get stronger. They will get the help that they need. They will get the tools that they need in order to be, to master the sensitivity, so it doesn't affect them in the wrong way, or it doesn't backfire on them, because the sensitivity will always be there. So somehow they have to find a way to transform that energy into maybe helping others, into giving back to others, into, if they're empathic, or okay, listen to the fans, or connect with the fans, or help someone out. Like I think that they have a lot of like therapeutic kind of, influence. It's just that I don't think that the music or the work that they are being given, it embraces this. Because I think that artistically, I would say, or what SM gives them, it's always going to be very robotic. It's always going to feel very manufactured. And I think that the girls have like a great, they have a great talent for feelings. So if they would sing about feelings, I think that people would listen. I think that people would get also like, oh my God, this is so sweet what they're doing. But they will be all right. Okay, más, I'm going to read for AHOF, this new group, AHOF. I don't know if it's AHOF or AHOF, but I'm going to read like AHOF. For them, their major arcana in 2026. Okay, good, for AHOF. We have the Wheel of Fortune, and we have the Three of Pentacles, collaboration. So yeah, I think that for this group, for AHOF, I think that there's opportunities are coming their way. Things are moving for them. They are going to continue moving, so they just have to go along. With the Wheel of Fortune, it's like you get on the ride. It doesn't matter where it takes you. You just take the opportunity and go. Just get in the rhythm, get in the wheel, get in the car, get on your way. A lot of movement, movements, possibilities for collaborations. I think that maybe they will get more recognition, or they will get like better numbers or more exposure if they do collaborate with other artists. I think that maybe it could be challenges like covers, that usually this is how they're doing these new groups these days. They usually rely a lot on covers or challenges of old groups, or very iconic songs of the past. But I think that for them it's about keep moving. They have to get on the Wheel of Fortune. It's like you have to get on the opportunity. Don't stop moving. Don't stop chasing the opportunity. I don't see them chasing. I think that their efforts are going to be recognized, and it's going to be stable. Because I think that there's something about these collaborations being really good for them, but somehow probably this card is like, you cannot do it alone. It's not that AHOF, the guys are going to make it just because they are AHOF. No, it's about networking, or it's about getting in contact with other groups, with other idols, getting promotions, getting people out there so they can meet you, so they can get to know you better. But it's all with the power of collaboration. It's all for, it's all it's very prosperous. But I think that there's something about like, you have to be at the right time, in the right moment. Like you have to be in the right place at the right moment. That's what it meant. It's all about luck, even, I would say. They have to positionate themselves like, when somehow it is about being a bit calculative, being like, oh, I think that this group is going to be there, so we are going to be there. It's about like, get on the train, get going, because this is the way they're going to get like more opportunities. It's not about like you being seated or being, at your company or at your company's building and being like, oh, we are waiting for a call, or we are waiting for a confirmation about this that we want to do. I hope that they invite us, and no, it's like, you guys have to move. You have to get the contacts yourself. You have to get, I don't know, other idols' numbers, another idols' contact information. I don't know, but you have to make it happen. You have to reach out to others and help them ask them to include you. I think that they're going to do great. They're going to do great. It's just that they have to rely a lot on others. They have to do a lot of collaboration. So probably this year is not so much about like their identity or them showing off their material. It's more about, collaborating with others or helping maybe another group out. I mean, like, okay, let's help each other. Or maybe they help each other, but it's not even their song, it's the song of someone else. So it's mainly not focused on them, but it's what they got. And with the Wheel of Fortune, it's like you have to take it. Take the opportunity because it's going to pass really quickly. So you have to take it. You have to be ready to see it. I mean, like, that is my opportunity. I go running towards it. But yeah, very lucky. They feel very anxious also. I feel anxious when I read for them. So I wonder if they also feel like the need to do something. They probably are like, oh my God, like how do we do this? How do I contact this person? How do we get here? I think that there's a lot of like, they need to breathe. They need to center their breathing because I feel them very anxious. Okay, let's see J Park. It's Major Arcana for 2026. Very, very J Park, a lot of pentacles. So I'm like, he will not be stopped. The Chariot. And we have the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, he's just starting. He probably, I don't know if he has another groups that he's going to be releasing, but he's going to continue. He's going to continue to, keep doing things. He has more material. He's like, I'm going places. No one is stopping me. This is my year. I am the master of my destiny. He's the guy driving in the Chariot. He's like, I have my eyes on the front and you are not getting in my way. I'm getting what I want. And yes, with the Page of Pentacles, the keyword it says skill development. So I definitely think that, yeah, whatever he produces is going to be new. Like he has to maybe, he has to spend a lot of his resources on the skill development. I think that probably is for him as a CEO and for the new groups. There's something about this is the beginning. The Page of Pentacles is a good energy because I see a lot of practicing, a lot of studying, a lot of efforts being pulled, and probably, a lot of talents but the talents are raw. So you have to polish the talent. This is why with the Page, you have them like holding this gem. It's like you found your gems, you have it, in your position, your gem, but it's up to you what you do with them. So I think that 2026 is going to be like the beginning stages of this that he's creating. Definitely he knows that he has found some gems. He knows that he has potential, that he has found maybe really good people. So I think that for him, this is also very new. It's a very new experience. It feels, I think that J Park is someone that he always has, I think that there's something about him, obviously, that he's very grandiose. There's something about his vision being like grandiose, being like, oh my God, I'm the best at what I do. But I think that this is the first time that maybe he's really getting to work. He's really seriously getting the materials together. There's something with the Page of Pentacles about him finally putting the hands in the dirt. It feels like, when you get working, when you get into the practical working part, not just here, but also you get the efforts moving. I think that this is how he's feeling. It's about putting the effort to work, consistency, having a very stable routine. I think that this is the first time that he's like, okay, I'm getting my visions or my ideas into reality. And I'm kind of loving the process of getting involved, of being there, of even practicing with the trainees or with the artists that he has. I see him getting, like, he's present, he's going to be there, he probably is going to get on training mode himself, and he's going to be like, okay, guys, I'm going to train with you. Let's do this together. So I think that is good for him, because I think that, just like I said, there's something about J Park that he has a huge ego. He has a huge ego. He's the type of guy that he's like, if you listen to him, he's like, oh, I will make it. I'm the best of the best. I know what I'm doing. What I'm doing is going to be successful. He's really good at, promoting himself or running his mouth. He talks highly of himself. He's a guy that you will never see him like, oh no, I don't know if this is what I'm doing. No, he's like, I'm the best. I'm unstoppable. No one stops me. No one stops someone like me. But I think that this is the first time, maybe 2026, where actually he's like, I kind of want to I want to get in the process of creation. I want to go to practice myself. I want to get I want to join the experience. I want to get involved. I want to be there for the people, for my people. So it feels like he also is becoming a trainee himself. He's learning from this experience, but with a more humble attitude. So this is changing him, not chasing him, changing him. Probably become more humble. And, he's going to get good results, but I think that he's changing. The way he's going to go about this is not from a grandiose space, of like, oh yeah, I'm the CEO. So yeah, you guys show me what you got. No, he wants to get involved. So yeah. But now that I read for him, I'm going to pull cards for long shot, because I do love these guys. I know it's very early, but I love their songs, so I want to pull cards for them for long shot. Okay. Oh, I'm going to go back to the reading then, yeah, sure. Okay, for long shot. Let's see their major arcanas. 2026 for them. Okay, we have the Tower and the Ten of Pentacles. I think that they are here to break the rules. They are here to break all the molds. They are very disruptive. They are a very strong force of like, we are going to give you something that you haven't seen. And probably it's about them destroying other people's favorites. Like, I don't want to say destroying like in an aggressive way, but there's something about like, you never seen something like us. We are rebuilding the basis of what a K-pop group is capable of doing. So I think that they are like, this is why we have the thunder, I think that they are this very disruptive force that no one saw coming. did they debut like at the beginning of this year? Like, I know that we are at the beginning of the year, but when they released this, the songs and everything, was it in 2026 or was it like before? Because I think that they are here to make people shake. You know, it's like you thought that you knew who your competition was, but then there I come, and I'm different, and they are shaking foundations, old foundations. So yeah, they probably make people uncomfortable, like not people, the audience. I think that they make their competition, or probably they make other groups feel anxious, or maybe other companies even feel a bit like, oh my God, like who are they? Like we knew that, you know, I think that there's something about companies knowing when there's new debuts, they are like, oh yeah, that group is named like this, that group is named like this, oh yeah, the other one. They do study, they know, but I think that they came up out of nowhere. And people are like, and they are already so good. Like the huge surprise of 2026, I believe. And also with the 10 of Pentacles, legacy. They also are supported by a very wealthy company, or yeah, it could be because it's Trey Park, so maybe, you know, he does have legacy, but he also supports them, you know, with everything that they need and more. So there's a lot of there's a lot of potential in here, and things are going to be fancy, and things are going to be amazing. It seems like this is literally like them having the 10 of Pentacles. It's them being an ace, then being a 10 group. You know, they are a 10. So it's going to shock a lot of people. They don't see this coming. They don't see this coming. But their foundation, actually them, it comes with a legacy. You know, it comes, even if you are like, oh wow, this is so unexpected, there's nothing about them unexpected. They are very rich. They are very rich in talents, in possibilities, and also probably there's a lot of money put in them. Money is not running out here in this company. At least not for them. They have everything that they need and more. But they probably rely only on talent. And it's going to show. So, yeah, they're here to break the rules. They're here to break the rules. It's going to shake certain foundations. Yeah, they didn't see this coming. They were like, where did they come from? I didn't know about this. Did you know about this? You know, I see that the company probably talking. They're like, did you know about this? They're panicking. The others, they are panicking the competition. They are going to continue panicking because this is just the beginning. Okay, let's see for Itzy, Major Arcana for 2026. Okay, wait guys, and I'm going to change my mic because then I always end up, you know, just talking to myself and I don't hear nothing. Okay. for Itzy, we have the Strengths card and we have the Wheel of Fortune cycles. So they got they got two major arcanas actually, because I have these cards to clarify, and they got a major arcana as well. So I think that definitely, yeah, for Itzy, they are strong. They're strong. If they're going to have a comeback, it's going to be about resilience, about them becoming stronger, about them becoming more secure in themselves, about them, proving that things are moving for them. That things probably it takes a while, for them to accommodate or for them to have. I don't know if this is about recognition or about them, the fame and everything. But I think that they are going to do their best. They're going to be very strong. They're going to be very resilient, very, they have the right energy. They have the right energy. They have faith in themselves. It's just that I think that they are not rushing. The strengths card, it's also about, internal strengths. It's about not forcing results, not forcing their times also. They're going to come back and they're going to do their part and they're going to do great. But also, like as I was talking, the subject of conversation, of ranting of today in the live stream, it was about pace, your own style, your own way of doing things, your own way of processing things. And I think that for a group like Itzy, things are moving. Things are moving, things are going to continue to be moving, but you have to respect their pace, their way of doing this, the way of overcoming this, the way of becoming stronger at their own pace, the way of becoming stronger in their identity, of recovering themselves. I think that they are like, guys, have patience in us, have patience. Like don't. I think that there's something about their way of commitment that they're like, we don't want to do things, just randomly. We don't want to just like appear and be like, oh guys, we're back. This is us. Yeah, love us. Like they are like, no. We want to show you that we have matured. But also I think that there's something about them being like, this is how we do things. This is our now. This is us now. So I hope that you like this that we're bringing, or I hope that you like this way of working that we have today. It's not full pace, it's not like oh yeah, and we're getting competitive and like we are going to be here and there and be super bubbly and be super energetic. No, the girls have matured. They also have mastered their own sense of self. I think that there's something about recovering themselves as well, having like a good self-control. There's something about them being like, this is me now. With all our, our defects, or, the whatever you want to call it, this is us. This is how we function today. So we hope that you guys are happy to see us back, because we are trying our best to be strong. And also with the Wheel of Fortune, it's a cycles. So I think that 2026 is one of these cycles, is one of these moments where, yeah, maybe they're going to appear and maybe it's going to be brief, or it's going to be short, or it's going to be like, oh, they had a comeback and then, maybe we don't know what is next. Maybe content or things being very like, it's all about cycles. Like it finishes fast, or it's an instance, it seems. But I think that from their part, it's like, well, this is what we have available. This is what we have available. So we hope that you guys like it. The girls will continue to be strong, will continue to show strengths, to show their desire to be where they are, to be for the fans, or to be in the position that they are. But, they are very, there's something about, I'm proud, I'm proud of us, even if we are not for everyone, and not everyone understands our processes or why we are doing things the way we are doing things. No one is going to rush them. They are appearing as they are with what they have available. They are doing their best to be professional, to be responsible, to be consistent, to be authentic also. There's something about them accepting that, yeah, this is me now. Maybe it's not how you used to remember us, but this is how we work today. So we hope that you like it. Okay. Going to continue with A20 May. This is the Lissumans group. Let's see their major arcanas for 2026. This is very similar to the reading that I did for Close Your Eyes, the Kim Jo-jung group. Hangman and Seven of Wands. Defense. Yeah, it feels very similar to the Kim Jo-jung's group. Yeah. Yeah, say my name. Yeah, I mean, a year also that probably, yeah, activities, maybe promotions, it's all very controlled, I would say. I think that they are choosing this stage where they have to, yeah, do what the company tells them or the higher ups. It feels very like, it feels very like, when it's very managed, like, yeah, you don't do that, or yes, you do that, or yes and no, yes and no. I think that there's something that they have to learn also. I don't know if there's a need for them to stop a bit so they can learn something, so they can review something, or so they can observe from others and learn more. Because we have the Seven of Wands. So it says defense. So could it be that there could be some allegations, something about, maybe someone coming and being like, oh, this is the copy of this, or this happened with this member, like always, like the rumors or the, suspicion or accusations even. But yeah, with the Seven of Wands, it's giving, like they probably will have to defend themselves or defend their concept or, yeah, I don't know why I think that something is going to happen. Something is going to happen. Could it be that they already have there's something with this group. I don't know what is it, but I think that people are like, oh, this is the same concept of this group. I think that they feel there's something about them just, it feels very uncomfortable, it feels very uncomfortable, like they are also very much like, there's a lot of control over them as well, like, okay, you guys will present yourself here, but then you come back, and then you do this, but then you come back. And so I don't see them like be very comfortable with the management. I think that this is just a year where, with the Hangman, is like, it is what it is. And probably it's not going to be a very consistent year. It's not going to be a year of like, wow, like I'm doing a lot and I'm showing myself and I'm expressing myself. I actually see a lot of restriction, like them probably having to stop or having to be a bit quiet about things or not being allowed even. I think that it's not up to them. I think that there's something about the management, or there's something about, something that is external to them that is like asking them to, stop until we give you, until we tell you that, okay, it's good to go now. Yeah, there's a lot of like, with the 7 of Wands, there's like, I don't know if from outside there's like a lot of competition, or there's like a lot of, I don't think that is criticism. I think that it feels very competitive. It feels like maybe the market that they are aiming for, or the other groups in there, it feels like it's crowded. It's already crowded. Maybe there's other groups that are trying to do the same, or they are trying to show themselves with the same style. So people are like, this is not working for me. So it feels a bit hostile, I would say, for the group. I think that they are not strong enough yet to present themselves freely and be like, okay, this is our identity, or this is what we are doing, or this is, this is our style, this is how we work, this is us. I think that there's something about them having to just not move and be like, okay, we are observing a bit of hostility from people, or, I don't know, even in the group, could it be that there's drama inside the group with the 7 of Wands? Could it be that there's drama between the members, or some members? Because with the card of defense, it's giving me like competition. It's giving me like, no, like I will do what I want to do. And I think that there's like some rebellious kind of energy, like them arguing or not being on the same page about things. Maybe one of them wanting to go faster, or wanting to do things by themselves. And I think that this is what is going to cause, maybe, I don't want to say like to put them in hiatus, but there's something that they have to learn. And probably the people that manages them is like, we are putting you on hold until you learn your lesson. Something like this. But it feels very uncomfortable. It feels like, they still have a lot to learn, because I see that probably there's a lot of fire in there. So probably there's like strong personalities, or people that they do not want to do what they're told, or they're tired of waiting. So there's like a lot of like resistance, and people in a very bad mood. Like when you are a bit frustrated with the situation, you're like, why do we have to stop, or why do we have to, why we cannot advance like everyone? And probably, the higher ups are like, well, this is not, I think that also the people that manages them have like a very odd way of managing them. It's like, I don't understand what they're doing. The concept is not clear, or maybe it's like, okay, here, guys, this is the group, but then you don't continue, you don't invest. So it doesn't feel good enough. But I wonder why people are on the defensive about them. I wonder if there's something that happened, like some allegation, some accusation, I don't know. They will have to defend themselves, yes. But yeah, very competitive environment, definitely. It's just that, maybe all of them are trying to do the same, or trying to, appeal for the same market, and it's getting crowded, and it's getting annoying, even for the audience. They're like, oh, more of the same. Okay, I'm going to continue with Riize, their major arcana for 2026. I like it for Riize, the Emperor. And we have the Page of Cups. It says play. So I like it. I like it about Riize. I think that 2026 again is going to be a year where they will exude like a more dominant concept. Maybe they will get more like it's giving Aries concept, like more dominating, more masculine, them showing their more like manly side, more flirtatious even. But yeah, because we have the page of cups that is play, so it could be also concepts about them, being romantic or being flirtatious with the fans, sexier probably. But I think that there's something about Riize, and every time I read for Riize, I'm like, they give me this sort of old school kind of energy, like Capricorn energy, like very bossy but rigid, and I see the Emperor and I'm like, it's kind of the same. Like, I think that they are the rulers or the masters of their career, of their trajectory, I would say. For them, in their view, they are very proud of what they have created together. So even I think that this is like bigger than, we are in numbers, we achieved this and this. I think that there's an stability in their efforts or in their talents. These are people that are very experienced. So they are so proud of themselves. And I think that in 2026, it's going to continue for them delivering, what they're known for or what they're best at. So there's a sense of pride and tranquility also coming from them, them looking at people in the eye and being like, yeah, this is us. And we are proud of this that we are creating. We are proud of this that we are delivering. We think that we are the best at this that we're doing. I think that the guys are very stable. There's something with the Emperor that is like, you're not moving us from here. We know we are the best. We know we are the best in our talents. I think that there's something about them. I don't know if their training was very rigid or if their training was very harsh, but there's something about them being like, we can overcome anything. We can overcome anything. Like, we do have energy. We do have energy, we do have willpower, we do have passion, we do have stamina. We can do this and more. It's just that I think that there's something about them being like, instead of us talking and being like, we are the best. No, they just show you. They show up. They show you with action that, the guys themselves are full of talents or are full of experiences that makes them great or stable in what they deliver. I think that there's something about them being like, well, this is our style. This is what we do best. And we have been consistent. So we are proud, again, in 2026, delivering maybe good music, good performances. But I think that this is like bigger than music. I think that this is maybe about a stage presence or the way they perform or the way they show themselves. There's a consistency, and there's something that they are like leaders in their own style. Like, you cannot be like, well, I think that they're kind of, if you cannot see it, it's because obviously you are not a fan or you just don't like it, but they're like, well, we're really good at what we're good at, so maybe it's not your style, but you cannot say like that we didn't give like 100%. They are like the masters of their careers, or of their image or of their passion. There's something about them just being very, very talented like that. They have I don't know if they're strong physically or they have like a good routine or they are very healthy. The guys are very healthy, or they are very. These are people that I don't know why I want to say like they train like the military. Like, the training is very like, yeah, people can be like, oh, well, this is boring, but this is what makes them consistent. That maybe there's people that in their place, they will run out of energy if they had to do what these guys do or the way they perform. I don't know, but they don't. they're consistent. So this is why they are like, well, I don't know about numbers. I don't know about you guys, what you guys of today, what you guys think that is like cool today, this year. But what we do in our field, in our style, we think that we are the best, or we think that we are in a good place where we know how to master our strengths. I think that these guys are full of strengths, are full of like, I'm in control. I'm in control. I'm not desperate to seem talented. I am talented. My talent is my authority. So it's like no one is moving them from there. And it's not about, I think that there's something also about them being like, we don't look at what others are doing. We just stay faithful to our own journey. And we want to be the best in our own journey. We don't care about the others. We don't care about what is trending or not. We just want to keep evolving in our journey. That probably, because the emperor, it can seem a bit inflexible. There could be something, like I always say, something very old-fashioned about maybe the style of music or the style of what they're wearing. I don't know. But you cannot, like the center, the core of the group is very strong. I don't know if the guys actually, when they are in stage, their stage presence maybe is like a bit like, wow. Like, I watched them on videos, but when I met them in person, they are really outstanding. They are really like they have a strong aura. But they will continue that. And also with the page of cups, it says play. They can get a bit, experimental. They can open up a bit more, get more like sweet and flirtatious with the fans, the audience. But at the same time, it's like they're like, we are the real deal. We are the real deal. Hello, Tertalino. Are you back from your? Are you back from your? From your walk? Great. You made it. A girl with a mission. Okay, let's see for heart to hearts to hearts. It feels like I'm reading for a lot of SM groups. Hearts to hearts. Another one that they got major arcanas. 2. Okay, for heart to hearts, we have justice and we have the moon, shadow work. It's the first time in a while that I got the moon in this card. And the keyword is interesting because it's been a while since I see it. And it says shadow work. I never associated the moon with the shadow work. So very interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting with the shadow work. Yes, shadow work. Remember that I got the moon for twice at the beginning, so I was like describing the sensation of contemplation, of like having to stop and just observe what it is, even if like you don't understand fully. So I think that when this tarot deck it says shadow work, yeah, because it feels very like internal. It feels like intimate, but it feels like you don't have all the answers. It's like shadow work. It's like you going inwards and being like, well, I cannot see what I'm doing here, but I kind of have to stay in this feeling. So I think that for heart to heart, we start with the justice. So I think that definitely they are going to get like a fair treatment, or they are going to have like, whatever they need. I don't know if there's people that are asking for justice for the girls, or if there's something about the fans maybe asking for like, okay, we want things to be fair with them, or we want things to be this way for them. I think that they will get it. They will get it. They will get like a fair treatment, or there's going to be justice made. I think that there's going to be more maybe transparency towards what the girls are doing, but also with the moon next to this, and also because it's a sim. So it's like when I read for NCT Green, it was the same. They got the justice, and then they got another card that is like, okay, what is this? So it's like there's going to be like a very fair treatment, or there's going to be like balance for the group at some point in some aspects. But also we have the moon. So I think that the girls are going to be, at some point, a bit in the dark, I would say, with the moon card, a bit like having to reflect a bit about their options, maybe not being entirely sure of where they are going, not having all the answers, not being told everything. There could be a bit of suspicion, but I think that this is also part of them maybe in 2026 understanding that there's certain decisions that maybe it's like, when I don't know, you work under a company or a place, and they give you, they are like, oh, we have a good news for you, this, but we also have a bad news. So I think that there's something about this, about them being given something nice at the beginning of the year, or maybe the first half of 2026, and then as the months start to advance, and time passes, then we have the moon. So it's like, the initial direction that they have, maybe at some point it can get confusing, like, okay, what are you doing with the girls? Like, what is this concept? We don't understand. And the girls also not understanding why certain decisions are being made for them. So it can be confusing for the girls and confusing for the fans as well. But I think that it's a SEM management. It's a SEM management. So I think that there's something about and when I see the justice card, I think that SEM also spends a lot of money and energy on the legal battles, on fighting other people in trials, that they it affects the other groups. It affects the other groups. It affects certain groups. And also with the moon, it's like, well, the girls have nothing to do with this, but they get affected because maybe they are put into a position where they are supposed to be launching something for the girls, or they're supposed to give the girls this, and it ends up not happening, or it gets postponed, or there's no more news about this. It's like, oh, well, you said you were going to keep us updated, but you never said anything. There's silence. So we don't know what you're doing. What are you doing with this girl's career? They probably don't know what they're doing with this girl's career. They have like a certain idea or concept, but maybe at some point it's going to get a bit confusing. Like, okay, what is this? And I think that there's something about the girls of heart to heart, also navigating the energy of the moon. They're going to find it also confusing. They're going to be like, but what is this? Like, I think that we are lacking direction. And yes, because, SM being SM is not focused. They are just, playing with energy and money, and they forget about certain groups sometimes. They start a project and then they forget. So is about bad management. Yes. It is about bad management. Not knowing where to go from here. Not knowing, okay, yeah, we're presenting the girls like this, but what's next? you know. Maybe there's something about maybe their concept lacks consistency or it lacks profundity that people are like, what is this? It's going to continue to be confusing in 2026. Okay, I'm going to continue with Katseye. Oh. Katseye Major Arcana for 2026. I like it. I like it for Katseye. We have the Empress for Katseye, and then we have Temperance that it says choose breathe. I like it. I like it for Katseye. Very girly, very feminine energy, very feminine energy, very like feminine female power. You know, it's like girl power. I don't know why I'm thinking about the Spice Girls, but I don't know. Yeah, I think that they will continue growing, expanding, being more attractive to the eyes of the audience. They will have a great year. They will have a great year. They will have, could it be that they win something? I don't know if it's about winning. I think that it's about them being in the spotlight, like really having these iconic moments. It could be like a concert or a stage, something that it feels like very expansive, you know, like, oh, you guys are here and everyone is talking about you. And you keep delivering like, you know, better performances, or you keep having these iconic moments and everyone wants to be you. There's something about them also, you know, like inspiring other women or other girl groups probably to do the same that she does, that they do, because I think that they represent like raw femininity. You know, there's something about them. Just you know, maybe they will have a new song or a concept or something that people just take them like role models more than what they do, you know, creatively as singers or dancers, you know. I think that there's something about their presence, you know, there's something about their popularity even, what they wear, how they live, their lifestyle, you know. And I think that everything is so attractive about them, so attractive. And they are like, exuding this kind of femininity that you don't see in probably in K-pop. You know, there's something about them, you know, inviting all the parts of being feminine, or they address all the parts of being a woman, that maybe, you know, in some other girl groups it feels very like limited, like you don't show the whole, or you don't talk about certain things that girls talk about or that the girls go through. And I think that Katseye is going to continue to push the boundaries about this, you know, about maybe the songs or the concepts or the dances. It's all about the female experience, you know, it's all about like how does it feel to be a woman, you know, and I think that this is, and them being very proud of being woman, you know, being women of their age, being, you know, it's not about being perfect, but I think that there's a lot of attraction about what they promote. You know, I think that people are very much like, and they're going to continue to be very interested in everything that they do. Everything that Katseye do, they're going to be watching, or they're going to be pendant on that. Or if they, I don't know, if they promote something like a brand or something, people are going to buy. Why? People are going to consume. So So yes, but the temperance, it says just breathe. So yeah, I think that for honestly for Katseye also, the anxiety is going to lower in them as well, because I think that they are with the temperance also, they are learning that they also have to slow down with the anxiety that it gives you to be exposed, or maybe that people want to know more and more and more about them, and people, I don't know if there's something about the fans or people that admire them, that they want the girls to be 24/7 online, or if they talk with the girls or with some members, like people want to know more about them, or they want to get more information of them, or they want to have their moments with them. It's like, oh, can we are following here, like, can we get a picture with you? It feels like um, they are in this moment where people want to consume whatever they do. So it's like whatever they do, it's like what they say, how they look like, what they do in their free time, what their families do. Like, if it seems like it's all included, and it can be a bit much. I think that probably in 2026 it was, in 2025, sorry, last year, it was a bit much. It maybe created a bit of anxiety for the girls, being like, I think that we open a gate that is like too much for us to handle. And definitely, yes, it could be, but with the temperance, there's something about them learning to regulate themselves and being like, guys, stop, you're making me anxious, so let me have my moment, let me have my peace. Can we stop here? Like, can we draw some boundaries, please? Can we stop this? Just give me room, give me time, so I can collect myself, so I can breathe, because you are getting too close to me. So I think that they are going to do it in a very polite way, in a very zen way, I would say, in a very nice way. It's not about them pushing people away. No, it's like, guys, I like, take it slow with us. We know you want to see us, and we know you want more from us, and we are working on this. We are going to continue working on this. Just take it easy with us, please. Let us breathe. Give us room, please. Not too close. Oh, I didn't. Ah, yes, I did wrote down that time. Mm. I'm going to continue with Kiss of Life. Let's see, Kiss of Life. The Major Arcana for 2026. Okay, the Magician. And we have the Ten of Wands. It says burden. So, yeah, I think that they're going to continue to create. They're going to continue to be in the spotlight, or they're going to continue to create music, or to be, visible, to be, I don't know, if participating in different shows. I think that they have a lot of, they want to keep appearing. There's something about exposure. It's like, we want to get the show going. We want to get, more people excited for us, or to watch us, or to see us perform. We want to be creative in this sense. They're probably, trying to chase a sort of like viral moment, or they're getting very like, they're getting all their tools to see, if they can, be still in the spotlight. For them in 2026 is very necessary. There's something also with the Magician that I think that it definitely depends on the girls only. I don't know if some of them are the ones that they are really, it's not about the company, it's more about them, being like, okay, with our talent, or with our I don't know, with our resources or with our abilities, we are going to create this. But I see them very much like empower them, adapting to, okay, what is that the people want from us, and we want to keep delivering this. I think that they don't want to stop. They don't want to stop like reflecting or like, oh, what happened? Like, oh, they don't want to slow down their energy. They are very much like, I don't want to say they are in a hurry, but there's something about them be like, we are not going to slow down. We want to be in the front line. We want to be like at the front. We want to be talked about. We want to be, we want people to see us. So I think that they will get themselves in places or possibilities for you to watch what they do. Even if you don't follow the group, there's something about them wanting to show you that they are real entertainers and that they have a lot to show to people yet. So I see them, being very confident in that, just not wanting to slow down and be like, well, let's see if someone invites us. No, they will take the matters into their own hands and be like, we are going to create this for us. So they want to be like, there's something about main character, like we want to be out there. We want to be seen. We want you to watch our show, or we want you to be at our concert. And like, we are entertainers, and we want to be at the front. So it's very ambitious. Their energy feels very like relentless, like I'm not waiting for no permission, we are going to do this. But yeah, the 10 of Wands is a burden. So I think that definitely it feels like an excess of energy. Probably, them feeling a bit overwhelmed with responsibilities, because probably the girls do it everything themselves. Could it be that they are the ones responsible for making things happen? I think that they are the ones carrying like a lot of weight on their shoulders. They are like somehow, trying their best to their ability to keep advancing. And it feels like a burden. It feels like a burden because probably there's like an intense, very passionate need to be in the spotlight, but maybe they are being met or they are being received with resistance. Maybe people even, accusing them of like, you guys are trying too hard. You guys are trying too hard to have your moment, to have your viral moment, or to have your hit moment, and it's not going to happen. I don't know if they want to sort of replicate, maybe another moment of theirs or a hit of theirs. And there's something about like, people not being convinced that they can make it. And I think that for them, this is like a huge burden as well, because I think that maybe they started strongly, or they delivered like a very strong impression on people. So it seems like when you do that, the expectations on you are even higher. And they have been carrying with this sort of like, responsibility of like, well, people know that it's us and people know that we're capable of this, so they want more of this. And we are trying, we're trying to create something similar or better. It's just that it feels like a lot of weight on our shoulders. They feel like they cannot rest, that they cannot give less. They feel like, we have to be on the lookout for opportunities or for, ways of being active also. The 10 of Wands is giving me like, we're doing our best to stay active, to be there, to not show that, that there's a weakness, or to not show that there's like a delay, because maybe people that give them, I don't know, possibilities, they are like, well, it has to be now. It cannot be postponed. So okay, are you guys up for this now? And their energies is like, yes, we can. Yes, we will be there. There's like an excitement, or there's like an overuse of their energy. They're trying their best, with but it's exhausting. It's exhausting. Definitely, they are trying their best to not fall, I would say. They're trying their best to not show weakness even. They could be also, people being like, aren't you too confident? And them being like, well, this is what we know how to do. So, they don't want to show that weakness. I think that this is why they're trying to do everything or participate on a lot of things or create a lot of things at once so they can, entertain people. But definitely it feels heavy. It feels like maybe they're going to take a lot of projects at the same time, and maybe it's going to be challenging. Yes, but I think that they're not going to lose their smile or their attitude. They're going to continue, like the show is on. We are not going to show you like, oh my God, like I'm so tired. No, you're not going to see it. With the magician, they're going to keep advancing, even if they're tired, or even if they're met with resistance from the audience and people being like, we don't buy this that you're doing, and they've then been like, well, this is the stage is my life, so I'm going to keep doing this. Okay, I'm going to continue with the last one, that is the Japanese group JO1. Let's see their major arcana for 2026, JO1. Okay. We have the devil for JO1. Devil. And we have the Six of Swords, transition. Is there something going on with this group? Is there like controversies about them or around them? Is there addictions in the group? Of all different kinds, not just substances. I think that could it be that they are associated with toxicity, like toxic behavior or toxic environment, toxic personalities even, or maybe drama. It could be drama. It's going to continue in 2026. I think that if they are in a kind of a scandal, or I think that I don't think that it's about the scandals happening in 2026. I think that there's like something, there's like an attachment that maybe people are not letting go of past issues. It's like they evoke a lot of passionate feelings from people. Maybe they do have a lot of passionate fans, but at the same time, there's like a distortion of what is real. It's like, well, it's not perfect, but they are mine. So it's a very toxic connection that they have. Maybe they have very passionate fans. They could be managed by very fishy people as well. They are surrounded by toxicity. I think that it's everything. It's them, whoever manages them, and the fans. It's like everyone involved. It's like everyone. It's like, are they a lot of members? Because I feel like, do they renew people? Like, do they have people out and then someone new comes in or something like this? But I think that there's something about people being like, I don't forget what happened. And then there's others that they are like insisting, like, well, he's not perfect, but he's my bias. I will support him nevertheless. So it's toxic. It's like I let you go, but I don't let you go. Obsession all the way. The Six of Swords is them, in 2026, they are going to introduce change. There's going to be like a new concept, a new album, a new style, a new beginning for them. They are moving, they are trying to advance from this toxicity. They are trying to, transition into a new era. I think that they want the change. They are like, we understand, it had been chaotic. We understand. We are submerged in that energy as well. We cannot let go of certain things ourselves. So we get it. We get it. I think that everything that happens to them or around them is a manifestation of themselves and others. Like, are they a magnet for toxicity or something like this? Because why do I feel like this is like a vicious cycle? But I think that there's a level of awareness here that finally new winds, the winds of change are coming to them that are like somehow putting out the fire and the density. And it's like, guys, there's a new door open there. There's a boat waiting for you to go on the boat, get on the boat and get going. Start the transition because you have to get out. You have to move. You cannot stay in that energy of the devil because it's going to consume you. It's going to consume you. It's not going to change. It's like it fits. The devil is like it fits of itself. It fits from the same energy that created it. If it started with obsession, it's going to get more obsessive and it's going to get more chaotic and it's going to get, like, I cannot stop. And at the same time, I don't want you to stop. It's tough. And probably all the subjects, if there's drama, all the subjects could it be that they're sexual even? But maybe it's part of their appeal also. Could it be? But there's going to be change. There's going to be a transition. They're going to advance to maybe a looser concept, looser in the sense of like more relaxed concept. Like you can finally breathe. You can feel like the detachment, feel a bit like let's detach a bit from, let's get a bit like not so much in our feelings or our emotions or our sexiness. Let's get more philosophical. Let's get more mental. Like. Wait that I'm getting my feedback here. They debuted in 2020, and not so long ago, in 2020. Why do I feel like this has been dragging forever? I feel it like it's been so long, like, 5 years, but. Oh, 11 members. Well, they're going to advance. I think that if there's fans in here watching this, there's going to be fresh air. Finally. I don't see an ending. I don't see like, it's just that they're going to move from this heavy energy to like, let's breathe. Let's just please, let's just get more. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like I said, I think that it's not just the members. But this is why I'm like, I feel so many people in here. I think that it's not just the member, it's the thematic, it's the theme, is the feelings that they provoke, is the feelings of everyone involved. There's like a lot of like, this is like, oh. But it feels like it fits itself. It feels like something that probably feels like never ending because it's not, I don't see someone that is like, guys, we should stop. Like we should not be this or not act like this. I think that this is like normalized. It's like, well, we are addictive. Well, we have scandals. Well, we have addictive personalities. So what? It's like this. It's like this. But oh my God, that it feels heavy. Oh, but I kind of understand the appeal because there's appeal in there. There's appeal. Maybe people are like, wow, well, it's scandalous, but we have tea and we are addicted to the tea. So I don't know. I don't see someone, being like, no, guys, you shouldn't be like this. It's like, what did he do now? Something like this. Yes. Yes, tell me. I don't know if I read for them already, but it feels interesting. Now I need to watch whatever they're doing. Please, then share it with me because I'm like, what is it that is so appealing about them that I think that people cannot stop, and they are not like it. It's a, how can I say this? It's toxic, but it's kind of like what you expect. Could it be that people are like, well, this is them, and we want to be like this. We want to stay here. I read for the show, the leader. Wasn't this group? I don't know if it is this group. Did this group have like a member that this member did a drama with Utah, the cool guys, something that is based on a manga? There was a guy that very short that he looks like, wasn't he a member of that as well? I think that he was cute. It's just that he seems very short. He kind of reminds me of Eric of The Boys. He has that sort of face. Uh, he seems very cute, not problematic, but well, I don't know. Now I'm curious. Now I'm curious because I'm sure all of them have something. But he looks short. Yeah, he looks like, well, in comparison to, and also Utah is not that tall, but in comparison to, maybe it's like the frame, I'm sure he works out and takes care of himself, but he looked like younger and shorter, but also it was probably the concept. Yes. You got some cards for Say My Name, and how did the interpretation come out differently? But did I get the same cards for Say My Name? Did I get the same cards for them? Say My Name. How did the? Yeah, for me is intuition. I think that is intuition because it's definitely intuition. Because it's different. It's different because for the girls in particular, they are sort of fighting the stagnation of the handman. The handman is like, okay, if you don't resist the situation that you are being put in, you can learn something. But for the girls, I feel it more like I don't know if they are defending themselves, like, okay, I don't want to stop, or I don't want to work like this, or there's issue with them. There's something coming with them. I don't know why, but there's something, like, I feel like one of them is going to defend themselves from something. I don't know what is it, but about say my name, it felt more like the cards were like, guys, it can be a bit stagnant, it can be a bit uncomfortable, but you are going to learn something from this. It's part of your experience, it's part of the process of people getting to know you. So I don't know if maybe the different groups have different personalities, and I don't know, for the girls, I felt like there's already some drama. I don't know if there's like girls or members that they have like a more like active role, and they are like very outspoken about like, oh, we don't want this, or this that is happening is so unfair. Like, can you do something about this? Them even confronting the higher ups. But I think that for close your eyes is more like, if you stay still, if you bear the uncomfortableness of having to wait, or having to postpone certain things, or having to just wait for a green light of like, okay, you guys go, you are going to be in good hands. There's going to come something better for you. It's not lack of opportunity, it's not lack of activity, it's just that maybe they need to be studied more. They need to observe more. They need to learn from others more. A period of, I don't want to say inaction, but it's more like, you guys just have patience. Maybe it's not going to be like, wow, it's so active, but there could be some opportunities. It's just that not all of them are going to be that good or that real. There's a lot of promises in the air that, oh, you guys should go here and do this with this, but then maybe when they want to really do this, then the person is like, well, now we are not going to do this, so we're going to move on to another group, and then being like, oh, well, thank you. But I think that there's something about like, you guys endure this energy, that you are going to come out of this wiser. And from the girl's perspective, there's this defensiveness. There's something about like, why are we being like this? Other groups are doing more. Why cannot we do like that? So yeah. I'm going to suggest the JO1 members now every time with their zodiac signs come up. Oh yes, please do. Please do. Now I'm curious. Now I want the tea. I want the tea. Like I now want to Google like what is going on with them? Are they this scandalous? And also probably people are not letting it go. They want to advance, with the Six of Swords. There's something about them being like, well, guys, can we advance to a new era? Can you stop bringing subjects about, what we did in our past? Like, we want to get out of there. But probably the fans are like, no, I have more information about this that you did last summer. But it's just because maybe the audience is like addicted to the chaos. The audience is like, well, there's always a member that is under some kind of a scandal, so let's dive a bit more. I don't see them like being like, oh, you shouldn't do that. No, I think that there's a level of understanding. Maybe the groups over there do this and more. Could it be? Because if it was a K-pop idol, I don't know, maybe they would be already canceled, but bad. Canceled, but bad. Yes. I also saw a few, but I personally never care for the girlfriend drama, but Japanese fans are all in. And getting information is limited because it's in Japanese. Oh. Yes. We have to learn Japanese because, yeah, there's a lot of content. I remember when I wanted to watch this drama of Utah, this it was based on a webtoon, that I had the link, but it was to this, Japanese network, and I didn't understand a thing. I couldn't log in because I didn't understand. Like, I wanted to translate the page, but it wouldn't. Like, since I don't understand what button it is, because it has different, like, the different signs. I'm like, oh, I need to learn Japanese because I don't understand. But they definitely gatekeep. They gatekeep their content. Yes. I think I do follow a girl that she is fan of this Japanese. I think that she's a TikToker. She does cosplay, I believe, and she knows all the tea as well. What is going on with? It's in the three dots at the top right-hand corner of your phone. Ah, okay. Okay. Yeah, I did press in there, but I was like, okay, what is it? Where? On YouTube, I know. Maybe we need to ask. Even for gossip articles. See, we started the ranting because I was telling people earlier at the beginning that I started season 2 of The Boyfriend, and I was like, comparing the dating styles or the dating show styles, between the Korean ones like Singles Inferno and the, this that is about gay couples, of course, but The Boyfriend is like they're their styles are very different. Usually, I mean, I like more the Japanese dating shows, even though we sure know that everything is encrypted or what. But there's something about that is not for everyone. But I think that there's more contemplation in certain interactions that Japanese people have with someone that they like. There's a lot of silences, of course. There's a lot of misunderstandings, of course, because they don't talk. But I think that it's better for my soul to watch that dynamic unfold than the Korean ones. The Korean ones are so toxic, so superficial. I'm like, I cannot even look at you. I think that there's something personally that I have with, certain people having this very strong, like surgeries done to them, that is really hard for me to look at it and be like, that's not real. your nose is not moving and it's distracting. How now everyone is complaining about, that there are certain actresses that they do have Botox, and it affects the performances. Like you look at the performance and you're like, okay, this is a little down in in this very old ancient era, and somehow I see that you have fillers, and it's hard for me to connect with the role that you're playing. And I think that for dating shows, sometimes I look at them like all beautiful, like full of makeup, and like the noses that don't move, and I'm just, it's really hard for me to connect with, like, oh, that person is attractive. It's really hard for me, even if they look perfect. Like I'm like, is like, I don't feel it like, I don't find it attractive. It's like too perfect. I don't find it attractive. I find it just not unauthentic. And when I look at, I don't know, certain like Japanese people on screen, I can see their freckles, I can see their little things in their faces, their noses, like the hair, even, the hair in the eyebrows, that of course, I'm sure that they take care of it. But, it's real eyebrow in the men, or beard. So I can see details in their faces, and I'm like, I like this. I like this. The teeth, the teeth, exactly. The Boyfriend, yes, The Boyfriend is on Netflix. It's a Japanese dating show. Yes, I kind of like more the people in season one. So I would advise you, and also it's very short, so you're going to consume it very fast. The season one is my favorite. The season two, I'm still getting used to the new characters. So the season one is a must watch. I actually pulled cards for them, for the people. So I'm kind of waiting just to watch not all the episodes, but near the finale, so I can see for season two if I'm going to be pulling cards for certain contestants. Millie Bobby Brown, the horror veneer, so correct. So I did love the boyfriend season one, and I don't know, maybe it's them, um, but it's a really it's a nice show. Like I really enjoy it very much. It's like it makes you feel like you go at their pace, and also because it's for gay people, like you understand, somehow you are like understanding their, how they process relationships, what they find attractive, when they talk about their own style, okay, I like a person that has this or is like this. um they're probably, yes, they're, they must have their own, dating codes, or their own experiences, their do's and don'ts. So I did like it. I did like it. You know why I feel so, like, I think I have like something that is like shocking for me. um because we have in a lot of countries and cultures, we have different sides, different color of skin. We have tall people, short people. At least in my reality, I'm used to seeing variety. This is why when people are like, oh, because in Argentina they are all white, they are all Europeans, or descendants of Europeans. That's not true, because I'm brown, and I know a lot of people. I also have like yes, part in my family that they are, yeah, European descendant, but I also exist, and I'm brown, and I have friends and people of my community that they are of darker skin tone, or maybe they are a mix of different races. So I think that people just should stop talking about other people's population if you don't know. And even if you come to visit, you cannot compare going to travel for 10 days to the capital of the richest part of the city, of the popular sites, the popular spots of a country, of the capital of a country, and be like, oh, I know Argentinian people. Like, I think that there's so ignorant when people, and I don't know what is it about, American people especially. I see a TikToks of theirs talking about people's races. Like, can you stop? Like, can you stop? Like, like, oh, what where are you from? Like, yes, I'm from my country, but I'm the mix of a lot of races. I don't know. There's a lot of people in my family, in my blood, in my ancestry, but I don't care. I'm Latin American, so I'm allowed to be a mix, and I don't care. I'm a person. I'm a person. So it's not about like, oh, are you white or are you black, or are you, like, we are all that. And stop talking about people's races. And at least if people want to tell you, like, I'm descendant of this, great. But I think that people are too obsessed with races. Like, oh my God, let's stop it. Stop it. Just say that you're from this country and that's it. Um, and um, so for me, what I was saying with Korean content, like I see, what is shocking for me visually is that I see the idols or I see actors and then I see the staff around them. I see the crew around them. I see the filming crew. I see the director. I see the people that manages the lighting. I see the people around them, and they don't look like them. There's a huge difference between. I'm sure that this is why they're called an idol, but there's a huge difference between a famous celebrity, Korean celebrity, and even their families. Like sometimes, I see pictures of I don't know, people talking about like, oh, this is this idol's mom and dad. Some of them don't look like them. Like you're like, okay, like some for women maybe they look a bit more like their moms, but there's certain that you're like they're very different. So in that you definitely see that there's a lot of procedures done that the and even the whitewashing, the whitewashing is it's like something like this. Oh, wow, like all of a sudden you're like white like a ghost, and I don't know, your manager is like their skin is 10 times darker than you, and they're under the same environment. So definitely it's like you don't look like the regular people, and it shows. So I look at this stuff for me to be like, okay, how are the people in there? I just look at the people like in the background. I look at the people in the background. I look at the staff members. I look at their if they have audience, if they have. I look at the fans. I look at the fans as well, and I'm like, yeah, I look at them and I'm like, oh, that's a real person, like in a life, because you cannot take an idol or an actor and be like, oh, that's the face of. I think that there's a lot of like the first thing I was like, oh my God, like their complexion, they're so tiny in comparison to you see an idol and you see them standing next to another man and you're like, they are so skinny, and they are so it's different. Even their faces are different, like everything. Mhm. No, I'm not white. No, I'm brown actually. Like like she's just that is the lighting. It's the lighting. You see that I'm like. But one thing that I must say, in my skin, because I cannot get tanned. I cannot be in that sense. I'm Asian, I guess. I could do well in Asia. I could travel to Asia and get all the the things that you do to cover your face to not get in the sun, because since I have lupus, I have to guard myself. Like the sun is my enemy. So I think that I would survive in the Asian places where they wear long sleeves, and the hats and the umbrella. I think that I would do great in there. Actually, I should have moved in there once they said that I had lupus, because I remember I had a doctor that when I was a teenager and I was getting to know about lupus and everything, he was like, well, now if you go on the on the streets, you will have to wear you have to get an umbrella with you, to cover. And I remember I had to use how do you call this? Like sunscreen. I had to wear that, and I was like, I was 14, and I remember it was like this white cream, heavy cream. It was awful. It smelled awful also, and I had to wear it to cover myself, like in the summer. So of course I have parts in my body. My legs are so white, are so pale, but they are pale because I don't expose them. But if you leave me a day or two under the sun, I'm going to get burned. I don't get burnt easily. I get red. This is why I think that my skin, or my tone skin, is actually red, I would say, because I have a lot of redness. See, I tend to get red. My skin is not like dark brown, but I get red easily. I get red easily. It's not that I'm tanned. Actually, it's hard for me to get tanned, but I could if I would be under the sun. I could be. I have an Argentina friend, Jose, who is a beautiful brown girl, a mix of everything, like I say for myself. She's gorgeous and I love her accent. Yeah, living in a culture with variety is always refreshing. We have people from all over the world living here. Yes. Yes, please, Americans trying to educate us about ourselves. Yes, it's like, what are you talking about? You talk about your experience. Don't talk about my heritage. Like it doesn't enter their mind that and why Argentina doesn't have black people. I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember. I wasn't born in there. I know I had history class, but I don't remember now. Like, why can't you understand that, we mix of people, we exist? And that it's not white and black. Like, we are in the middle. We exist, and it's okay. It's okay. All of you are welcome. We don't discriminate. I think that they just want to say like, oh, they discriminate. No, we don't. Because if I would discriminate, I would discriminate against my own blood or my own heritage. Because in my family, in my grandma, my grandparents, like all the people that came before me, there's always a white person and a black person and a brown person, and then there's a lot of people. So I cannot. There's indigenous people. We have indigenous people here. So I just cannot be there. Like, oh no, tell me if you're white or black. Our missing universe happens to look predominantly white, and Americans who identify as Latin started to tell us what should offend us, even to others like Indian people. They say they said Miss India didn't look. That all races are equal. Asians get tanned. Like, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'm like, Asians get tanned. Yeah, because I know Asian people, like, that they have their communities in here. They get really tanned. They actually are very tanned. So I'm like, that whole vampire whitewashing. It's like, I know it's for the TV. Is for the content, but I know that if you guys, if our favorite idols would spend a few days here under our weather or under the beaches here in Latam or in other parts of the world where the sun hits, they would be like, they would get so tanned. They would get so tanned, and we would embrace that. We would be like, good for you, because we don't. But I understand, because in my case, I have to, beware of the sun and not be exposed because of health reasons. So I have to sort of be a vampire because, I have to take care of me. But if I could, if I was healthy, I would be under the sun. But I have to take care of myself. I cannot do it. And I refuse to go out with an umbrella. I refuse to go out with a huge hat to cover my face. Like, I cannot do that. Most people I know see it that way, but I live in an area where we are very inclusive and diverse. I grew up with Asians, brown and black people, so it's normal here. Mm-hmm. But the East is a bit different. I have brown hair, and since I was like the first one in my family, they acted like I was Scandinavian almost. But we have very cool blood, probably First settlement of the Californians. My skin gets really tan, so people always ask me where I'm from and don't believe me when I say I'm German. This increased amount of melancosids found in Asians, but Koreans use a lot of whitening cream that makes them white. My city gave its original to all three Californians, the American and the two Mexicans. We do have a lot of indigenous people in here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, I've always looked Asian, like in the face. Actually, my body type also is very Asian. Now I'm chubby, of course, but when I was in my natural, when I was growing up, and when I was in my natural, without having disease nor anything, I was very skinny, very flat, not hips nor anything. So I always looked very Asian-like, except that I had curly hair, wavy hair, not curly, wavy, and a lot of hair, like Spanish. Like the Spanish with the huge hair. Well, I had, now you cannot, because I don't iron it, but I had, products to straighten the hair, because I do have a lot of hair, so it's unmanageable. And I had a lot of frizz. I actually have frizz. If you see, there's always like a part of my hair that is like, standing like this, but I have a wavy hair and a lot of hair. So I would be like very flat, like I would have like an Asian body, but huge hair, like an afro. A lot of hair. My mom, she would fight with me when she had to comb my hair, because a lot of hair, like and also heavy. When she had to, I don't know, style it, it wouldn't, with these tiny sort of headbands, it wouldn't stay. It had to be, you had to put like double, because I had a lot of hair. Yeah, I went to a German school, and um, they were all white. Yes. They were all tall. Actually, like I think that I was like, we had to make a line, and I would always be like one of the free people, or the free students, that we would always be at the front, because they would all my my classmates, they were all tall. So I understand why people are like, oh, they have German people in here, but I think that people just love to. I don't know why they get, like. I actually have no idea if they came here, who came here, these people that did horrible things. It could be a possibility. I'm not saying that not, but at the same time, you have to think that a lot of people run away from the war. So it's not just like Germans. There's also Russians. I think that there's my godparent, my godfather. He is Russian descendant. So I think that the Italians, the Spanish, these people didn't have anything. They were dying because of the war. And they found this tiny land, we at the end of the world, and they created their communities here, and they were able to feed their families instead of dying there. So I think that sometimes it's like, instead of being like, oh, because the war and this, but you don't recognize that this land gave a possibility, gave room for people to grow something out of the earth, grow something out of the field, and feed themselves, because they were starving. The horrors of a war at the same time. So I'm always like, I'm always grateful because I remember I had like my I have my it was my friend's grandfather that he came from the war, and he was Italian, and he would always be like the one that he would be like, you guys have to eat everything on the plate, you don't mess with the food, you know. And I was always very picky, not picky, but I had a hard time finishing. If you put like a whole plate of food, I would be having a hard time digesting it, and I wouldn't finish it. So, you know, he would always tell us about, you know, how we have to appreciate food, because, you know, when you don't have it, and you don't have to waste the food, you know. And I always think, you know, he will always be repetitive about this, you know, about how, you know, they didn't have anything to eat, so they would eat dirt. So I think that you know, a lot of horror had happened, you know, and I don't know. I just think that we are who we are because of the people that came, you know, and to be like, oh well, in this and this, I don't know. And also, it must be difficult to leave your home, your homeland. You know, it must be difficult to leave your homeland and to, you know, feel like this is not your homeland. You know, this is not your, but you have to come here because, you know, everyone else is on the other side not making it. Mm, mm. We have a lot of Jews as well. You know, they don't talk about that. They don't talk about that. They just talk about the Germans because they're fixated, and I understand. But you know, let's not get like that, because there's a lot of people. There's a lot of European, a lot of Asians also. A lot of Asians. We had a very famous Japanese man that actually he was, you know, he traveled with his dad here, so he was like, he was born in Japan, but he grew up in Argentina. And when, you know, the when we had this war with because of the Netherlands, in the 1982, he always tells this, that he wanted to fight. He wanted to, you know, fight for us, and that they wouldn't take him because he had like a Japanese, you know, he was born in there. But he was like, I wanted to fight because this was my country. This was my country as well. So, you know, um, I don't know. I cannot imagine, like, oh, it must be awful. Mm, mm. Oh, the food, yes. Mm, mm. Okay, guys, I'm going to go, because I'm like, I think that my neck is all stiff because of the position, because this table is not fitted to do this. It's too low, and I cannot get my legs to stretch. I'm all sore. But yeah, we made it. we made it. We made it. We made it for another live stream without interruption. Thank God. So this is the spot. This is the place. So I will have to arrange things again to be here until we fix the internet connection upstairs. But I think that since it's very hot upstairs, here with the AC, I'm okay. So I think that, yeah, again, moving time again. So yeah, guys, again here. It's going to be seasonal. It's going to be seasonal for this channel. Now in summer, downstairs. When the weather gets colder, we're going to go back to upstairs. So yeah, be ready for the different background changing. But yes, thank you so much for being here, guys. It was so fun talking to you. We had a great time again, and well, have a lovely Sunday. Love you. Bye.